my wicked dreams. Are you from Tennessee or Santa Monica? You've been too good to me. Won't make my mama proud.
Welcome back to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh, and another of our returning guests for 2025. We have Ethan Chitty back here today again. Welcome, Ethan.
Hey,
So, people that would recognize you from last year would be very aware of your charity, but for those who don't know, you have a food bank related charity that's called Food for the Ears and ties in fundraising with live performance.
yeah,
So, in the last year, I know you made the transition from Truro to the Halifax area, that you've been studying music at school as well. Is it music business that you're studying?
music arts
Music
right
arts.
now. Yeah,
Okay. So, in that same time frame, then you've actually registered the business. You're full nonprofit now, and
yeah,
you have a little bit of different venue this year. Last year, you were very fortunate to have a full ballroom available to you. And this year, now that you're in the Halifax area, you've moved it to the Lighthouse Art Center.
yeah,
So, what else can you tell us about the charity itself now that it's kind of matured a little bit and you're a little foot further established, I suppose,
yeah,
and maybe a little bit about the goals of the organization itself.
yeah. All right. Well, yeah, this year we officially registered as a nonprofit society. We thought that would be an important step to make it more like solidified for since it's recurring, and I think we want to keep expanding and make it a an official event.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so this year when I moved to the city, I thought I wonder if I could expand this event and move it to Halifax. And I thought, well, I really like the Lighthouse Arts Center and it's a good spot to perform and have bands at. So I booked a little tour and I booked that venue. And yeah, just in that was a big step forward for, I think, the organization to have such an established, like Lighthouse Arts Center shows are pretty large and they're
Yeah.
pretty recognized, I think. But yeah, I mean, especially this year, I've learned so much just in such a short time from just having to do it for this year's event, to like for it to be legal and everything and all proper and everything correct. And I think we are excited to keep growing over the years. I think the future of Food for the Years really looks at seeing what we can do for the whole community,
Hmm.
rather than just our yearly event. I mean, this year, like we have some smaller shows, part of our lead up series. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have one tonight, but it got canceled due
Yes.
to some venue issues. But like that, I think that is an important step for the event. I mean, just to have smaller things like all ages, more all ages shows
Hmm.
around the city, especially under the brand, because it's all in turn, all the revenue coming in from those smaller shows goes to our expenses, which then lets us donate more to Feed Nova Scotia in the end.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about Feed Nova Scotia's, where the profits would go from your marquee event of the year. Leading up to it, as you mentioned, today, as of recording, there was an event that had to be canceled, but there is a few other events that are coming up. They may have already be in the past by the time some people actually see this, but maybe if you want to tell me what the other ones that are currently scheduled.
Yeah, so we have one more lead up show. It's next Sunday, which is the March 23rd
Okay.
at Woodside Tavern. It's not all ages, just due to the venue
Hmm.
rules. But we have Lizard the Bird, the Ethan Tyler Band, which is my band, and Colgrove and Jones.
Cool.
And it's gonna be a great little rock night. Um, and that is actually our only lead up show under this event for
Okay,
like to raise money for this event. We tried to book some more, but there was just issues with short notice booking and stuff like
sure.
that.
So
Um,
for the 2026 season, I guess planning for that's going to start late April, so that you have a good
yeah.
year in advance
Oh,
to start working out logistics.
I've been saying this to my board too. We need to get on it in like probably May
Yeah.
or at least before Christmas, like sometime way earlier than we did the last few years, just since it's everything in the city, take it. There's a lot more going into it,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
you need a lot more time to do things here.
People can be shocked by how much goes on behind the scenes. In some cases, places that you would expect to be available, or people that you expect to be available, sometimes you're surprised to see how far out they actually have things scheduled.
Yeah,
It's always interesting. It's a good sign for the scene that we have a nice healthy scene anyway.
yeah, for
But
sure.
speaking of that, I know that you mentioned all ages stuff, and a lot of the acts that you're pulling from are either from that type of scene or definitely people that support that type of vibe of having a all ages type performance. So I know that the event itself will be all ages, but who do you have on your lineup for 2025?
Yeah, so we have it posted on our Instagram too, but we have our two headliners, which is Andre Pettipas and the Giants this year for the rock section, and
Hmm.
in our punkier section this year, it's Skunk Motel headlining. We also have I Dialed Your Number as kind of a bigger support artist,
Yep.
because she has a great following all around, and we think she's a great uh, person to have in this event. We also have Esdaile and Silas Bonnell and the Jesters, Logan Edward Mackay, and the Ethan Tyler Band in our rock section. And then we will have a Songwriter Circle, which is a new addition we didn't have last year,
Hmm.
to include a little intermission period too. It's a little calmer. And we have Eliza Rhinelander, Fiona Clancy, Mayron Sullivan, Caitlin Danielle, and Autumn McKay, which are all amazing songwriters I've met at various events in
Hmm.
Nova Scotia. And then in our punk section, it's The Orchids and Convulsion and I Dialed Your Number. And then we end the night with Skunk Motel.
Amazing. So now a few of those bands I'm definitely familiar with. Some of
Yeah.
the specific individual artists I'm also aware of, or they may have actually been guests on the show in a couple of cases.
Yeah.
There's a few that I have had the fortune of seeing live that maybe haven't had any coverage on East Coast DNA yet. So we'll have to change that. I'm going to be on site this year. So one of the things as well that I'll be co-hosting the event as well.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for this camp as well. So any of those artists that maybe hear this before the event, if you want to have a chat leading up to the event, maybe send me a note on Instagram. We'll get a little conversation going. Wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of inside knowledge on what's coming up with the different camps for the different performances that you'll have going on. I do find it interesting. You've kept the concept of the original event
Mhm.
where you do have the stages kind of separated into a rock stage and a punk stage. So I do champion the fact that you're keeping it all ages. And as somebody that tries to keep up to date with what's happening in that scene, I'm familiar with some of those bands because I do see that they're the people that would be playing in some of those venues in the Halifax area that would have all ages events. So I'm curious now that you're up there and you have proven to yourself that you can relocate the event and you have toyed with the idea of having multiple lead up performances and you're from the Truro area. We've had a little bit more coverage in the Truro area this year than we have in some of the other years too. So do you have any intentions of maybe making this event move around a little bit in the future? Will it be a Halifax-based event for the immediate future, or will you be bringing it back to its roots in Truro at some point? 'Point?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think. right now I'm living here indefinitely, just
Hmm.
until my life plans change. So I think I'll keep it centered around Halifax. But I mean, me and my board right now, even, and some other peers who are helping out, we're discussing our plans for next year. And if we want to do something bigger, I think the biggest thing is funding and sponsorships,
Hmm.
which will determine that. I mean, we think it would be cool to have a longer, or maybe like rent out a field or something to
Hmm.
have a bigger festival, actual festival style event.
Yeah.
Um, but that really just depends on how much funding we get and how early and what our final business plan is for next year. But I think right now it's looking like it'll be a similar kind of thing to this year, like at the
Hmm.
Lighthouse or somewhere similar next year. And I think we'll try to get on it early with the lead up series and try to put that more around Nova Scotia than just in the
Sure.
city. I think it'd be cool to have like New Glasgow shows or Truro shows under this name. Yeah.
Maybe definitely something I'll be keeping an eye out for in the future. So for the 2025 year, we mentioned that it's coming up, but the actual event is April 6th.
Yeah, April 6th.
And so that's the Sunday at the beginning of the month.
Hmm.
And if people want to get on board now, as we mentioned, it's a charitable event. So, I mean, there's no harm in buying tickets now, even if you don't end up using them, but hopefully we have a good crowd out there. So, where can people go out today if they want to buy tickets to support the event?
Yeah, so we have our ticketing link on our website. It's foodforthears.com.
Perfect.
It's our new website. Under the ticketing page, you just click it, and then you click the little picture, and it brings you to Tixar, which is the service we use. And then you input your info and your payment, and then it just goes straight to your email. And it's that easy. We're also doing ticketing at the door.
Hmm.
If you don't happen to get your ticket beforehand, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much that simple. We're doing a giveaway right now until next Sunday.
Yes.
And you just tag some friends. You'll be entered into a draw on our Instagram, which is just at
Perfect.
the years, and you can have the chance to win 2 free tickets. But yeah.
Amazing. And now I know that earlier in the season you were looking for vendors. So do you have your vendor village kind of all worked out for this year as well?
Yeah, it's just about there. I've been leaving the official announcement out for a little while just to see because we were still waiting on
Sure.
some sponsors and see who was gonna take the spaces.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I'm not sure if I should list them yet because not all of them have been confirmed, but
Fair enough. So the concept of having that as well, I can see from being in your hometown, the kind of the sense of community that you were trying to pull together there too. How
mhm.
does that type of thing work into the overall concept of the goal of what Food for the Ears is trying to accomplish?
What do you mean?
Is it, do you collect anything as far as additional revenue towards the charity from those, or is it just about creating a community event and giving something for the audience to do
Right.
while they're there for the day?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really appreciate art. I mean, I'm a musician, I'm an artist myself. I think it's really important to have that in Nova Scotia,
Hmm.
uh, hence the festival.
Yes.
But so yeah, I mean, that's how it started. I was bringing in local artists and craft makers and stuff to get their art out there and sell what they can.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, because it's a day of music and art and peace and friendship. But we this year we started asking. Last year they kept 100% of the revenue, but this year they have an option to donate a percentage of their sales
Okay.
to the charity, which helps us raise some more money.
Yeah. No, I like the concept, and making it optional takes the pressure off some of the vendors as well, because I
Yeah, for
realize
sure.
as an artist, it may not always be feasible to be making the extra above and beyond expense, but wonderful to see that you kept that element as well. Like I said, I appreciate anything that you're doing to kind of keep with the root of what you created there. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a unique event. It's a little bit different than what some other people are doing out there. So
Yeah.
wish you all the best, keeping this going in the future. And for anyone out there that's unfamiliar with any of those bands, take a look on the East Coast DNA YouTube channel. There's a few of them there that have been featured with some live performances and a couple interviews. But also take a minute to search for some of those acts, because as much as we're talking about how it's hard for some of those crafters and artists that may be running some of those vendor tables, a lot of these artists are probably giving it their all at this point too, and very little coming back as far as revenue on it. So I'm sure that some of them would appreciate an extra couple listens out there on the Spotify's and views on YouTube or wherever you can go to help them. And I think for the most part, a lot of those acts also would be featured on places like Bandcamp, where they get a lot more of the revenue back in their pockets. So definitely get out there and support local. Once again, Ethan, I appreciate the spirit of what you're doing, and wish you all the best. I'm excited to see what happens on event day. And for anyone that's listening to this, that it sounds of interest to you, please go out there and take a look at those ticket options right now, because the advanced ticket sales, we don't really talk about it a lot on this show. Sometimes the events are being advertised through East Coast DNA like within a day or two. So sometimes it seems like maybe it's slightly arbitrary, but for people like Ethan that are running these events, knowing that there's some tickets pre-sold takes a lot of the pressure off. So if we don't have to worry about the stresses and anxiety of covering the financial burden of running an event like that, then we can focus more on some of the rosier aspects and maybe giving you a little bit more entertainment value for your dollar. So definitely, if you can, get out there and buy some tickets in advance. If you can't, day of, you can still come on out and make your contribution there. And I imagine there'll also be options for people on site to make extra above and beyond donations to the charity as well.
For sure. Yeah, we're gonna have a little donation spot, and we have a 50-50 draw the day of too.
Perfect.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, I definitely thank you for all your efforts, Ethan, and thanks for keeping in contact.
Yeah.
Like to keep my ear to the ground, and with people like you reaching out, it helps me that much more. To any of the acts that are performing, like I said, feel free to reach out. Might have some time between now and then to get a small feature out. And like I said, to everyone out there, support local. And thanks again, Ethan. We'll talk to you very soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
I know you wanted me to stay, but I can't ignore the crazy visions of me in LA. And I heard that there's a special place where boys and girls can all be queens every single day. I'm having wicked dreams of leaving Tennessee. Here's Santa Monica, I swear it's calling me. Won't make my mama proud, it's gonna cause a scene. She sees her baby girl, I know she's gonna scream and go, what have you done? You're a pink pony girl, and you dance at the club. Oh mama, oh, just having fun. On the stage in my heels is where I belong. Down at the pink pony club, I'm gonna keep on dancing at the pink pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna from Tennessee or Santa Monica. You've been too good to me. Won't make my mama proud. It's gonna cause a scene. She sees her baby girl. I know she's gonna scream. Go, I love you down. You're a pink pony girl. And you dance at the club. Oh mama, oh, just having fun. Wanna say that my heels is where I belong. Down at the pink pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the pink pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the pink pony club. Pink pony Don't think I've left you all behind. Still love you in Tennessee. You're always on my mind. And mama, every Saturday I can hear your southern drawl 1,000 miles away. You say